Look, it's you and me.
Yay! Jenny and I were just having a stimulating conversation about the McDonald's that we go to probably too often because it's that was the food we had when we were little. We thought it was the best. So, more memories. So we were discussing the good places to get McDonald's and the not so good places to get McDonald's. So.
For instance, the Rose Street or the Rose Street McDonald's in Kalamazoo is surprisingly good. So.
And the Chelsea McDonald's here in Chelsea is they're on the ball. Those ladies that work there, they take their job seriously, and I appreciate it.
I was saying that the Oshtemo McDonald's on 94 on the way to Matawan isn't awesome. It's surprisingly bad all the time. So I don't know. Just depends. Who knows? Like I said, management matters, as we know. From Case Van Zelt, who is still the manager, I think owner now and manager of the One Hot Now in America, who used to be the manager of the McDonald's in Sturgis when it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Management matters. That's all I know.
Management matters. Exactly. Knowing what you're doing.
Yep.
All those balls in the air.
That is correct. And, training matters. Management matters. Stuff matters. So.
Surprisingly. Hey.
Yeah, I know, right? So, here we are on Sunday. We're a little bit later today than normal because weather and workings and all that sort of stuff. We got about, honestly, when it was all said and done, we probably only got about 5 inches of snow here in Kalamazoo and Friday nights, just dumpster snow. I mean, that thing was just intense. It was a nasty little snowstorm.
Yeah, we got probably about 10 inches. We lost power. It took us like an hour to get our parking or our driveway cleared. And then the roads were terrible. It was a mess. In fact, I ended up working today because I couldn't work yesterday because I couldn't even I didn't get into work till like afternoon. And it was like, I'd be calling people, hey, can you come in today? Because it was crappy here.
Yeah, you guys took it in the teeth. You were right in the center of the really crappy stuff. You got thunder snow, which is amazing and horrible all at the same time.
Yeah, no, we got thunder snow, and like I said, we lost power. We had lost power with the ice storm the week before, so I was like, there's just something that really, it just like kind of sucks a little bit of life out of you when you go to turn on the light switch and you're like, don't. So.
Well, you forget how important electricity is. One of my favorite books is Deadliest Enemy by Michael Osterholm, which is a book about it's basically a book about pandemics and epidemics. And one of the things he talks about was the importance of electricity in just increasing the lifespan of humans. In 1900, the average lifespan of an American was only 49, which I thought was pretty astonishing.
Wow.
And that, of course, a century later, it damn near doubled. So, he basically says it's because of electricity that now all of a sudden you could refrigerate, vaccines and all of these things that you couldn't, do pre-electricity and refrigeration. And, we still take that for granted now because you're just so used to walking into a room and flipping a switch and you have light. So
right, exactly.
Except ice storms and snowstorms.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey. Yeah. All of a sudden I got to think about flushing the toilet. Before I never thought about it. Just did it.
That's right, because you're on wells. Wells need electricity for pumps, and pumps make poop go away.
You know what? We want that to go away as quickly as possible. So anyway, that was super fun. So it kind of put us behind. We were supposed to review Cocaine Bear today, but because, of all the stuffs going on, it made it much more difficult. But next 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now, yes. So we had to go to our Plan B this week, and our Plan B this week is our first ever Brother Sisters life coaching session. Woo!
You're welcome.
You're welcome, America. That's right. I'm not sure. I don't know what I was doing the other day, and it just occurred to me that, damn, someone needs a life coach. And I'm like, why not me? Why can't I be a life coach? And then I remember you talking to me about some people that you've known and that have been life coaches. And it's like, why can't I be a life coach? And it turns out there's really no reason I couldn't be. And then I thought, I do know some stuff. I'm over 50. I know things. I don't know all the things, but I know some things more than other people. So I got to thinking, what's the difference? Okay, well, what is a life coach, and what's the difference between a life coach and a therapist? Because to me, they could be the same thing.
Mhm.
But it turns out their therapists have some standards.
Well, you hope.
So apparently, so like, right, the big difference between therapy and life coaching is credentials and education, and the fact that therapists can diagnose and treat with medications, things like that. So therapists, they can test, they can diagnose, they can treat actually mental illness. And they focus on the past to help with your present. So what have your life experiences been? What is your medical history? Things like that. In order to help you with your present, where life coaches, it's about motivation and encouragement and helping people achieve their goals. And it's not anything where you're doing any sort of diagnosing. You're not doing symptoms. You're basically just coaching people on how to make better choices. So coaches look at the present to help shape your future. And so that's
The
because
difference.
I was curious. And then as far as what makes you and I, Anne, qualified to be life coaches today, and the truth is nothing.
All you have to do is say, "I'm a life coach."
I'm a life coach, and I don't know. I guess it's like, how big a dumpster fire is your life? I'm like, my life's not super dumpster fiery, so I'm like, life coach.
Exactly. Look at me. I've made it this far. I could be a life coach.
Yeah, it's like, I guess my life is like, I don't know. I guess maybe it's a fire pit in the backyard, but certainly not a dumpster fire.
Certainly not a tire fire.
It's not a tire fire. Honestly, I feel like my life is just pretty normal, really. Got a job, got a house, got a car that works most of the time.
Got some cats.
Got 2 cats that seem to like me, and I got 2 house plants, so pretty good.
There you go.
So anyway, and this is what I thought was interesting. Life coaching is basically unregulated, so anybody can call themselves a life coach. You can open a business regardless of your training or experience. It's considered a legitimate field, and there's like supposedly research-based techniques and ethical standards, but you don't have to adhere to any of that. It's voluntary. So
what could possibly go wrong?
Nothing, Anne, nothing. So the ladies that you were working with that said they were life coaches, whatever.
Yeah, exactly, whatever. And I was like, both of I am a massage therapist, so massage therapy seems to have an unusually high amount of life coaches that also are massage therapists. And the 2 people that I've known that are massage therapists and also life coaches are dumpster fires.
Floating dumpster fires. Okay. Yeah. So so we just say that again.
What if it was also a psychic? I was like, hey, a heads up about COVID would have been real nice. Oh, you're not the kind of psychic that tells you useful things? Oh, great.
When I was doing improv, the group that I did worked with, we had a sketch that we called Psychic Pizza, and it's about a delivery guy who's psychic, so he just brings you the pizza you want.
Oh man, that is useful.
That's super useful. Yeah. So anyway, Psychic Pizza. I'm like, I didn't even know I wanted a pepperoni pizza. I'm like, we did.
I always want one. I don't know why somebody isn't delivering it to me right now. They can make a
if there was actually, yeah, and if I were psychic, I would totally just be like, I'll just be pizza delivery, because people would be like, if you get home and there's already pizza on your doorstep, you're like, dude, that's amazing.
Can you be my life coach?
Actually, I can.
Yeah.
So anyway, so to talk about what our life coaching is, Anne and I have established 5 pieces of life coaching from each of us. So that's right, you guys, just for tuning in today, we're going to fix it all. Well, we're not. As I was putting this together, I basically decided to narrow it down, because there are a lot of things you could coach on. Basically, just narrowed it down to things like household, love, self-care, job, and just some miscellaneous whatever, Yeah.
And I followed Jenny's and I so I did. I was like, okay, I could, because I was like writing down stuff in my little journal, my stuff that I think is, like, so it's like, I'm like, oh, good. Now I have like some sort of criteria to put it in. So our first one was household tasks, which, if you're in a relationship, can lead to fights. So here's what you should do. Actually, or don't do any of this. That's the thing I should preface with all of these. Do none of this.
Yeah, honest to God, you guys, this is just us, just spouting off. That's all. And if you think this is useful, great. And if not, you can be like, that's stupid.
Yeah, these bitches are dumpster fires.
Yes.
So,
Like,
yeah. So, as you know, unless you're one of those people, and I do know a few people who love the household tasks, the cleaning and the scrubbing harder, but most of us, I think, don't. So I like to think of the household tasks as a bunch of shit jobs. And it's important to make sure that everybody in the family has their share of shit jobs. Like in our family, I manage the money and figure out the checkbook. And Duncan cleans the bathroom and sifts the litter boxes. So both of these are shit jobs. Just one of them is more literal than the other. And this is the other thing. If you have other people, like if you're doing all the work yourself, you have your criteria for what's clean and not clean, whatever. But if you've got to share this and you want to share it, don't expect the other people in the house to clean the way you do. Just be glad it gets done, because if it gets done and you didn't do it, then you win. So, don't worry about if it's like, oh, well, this isn't the way I would do it. I'm like, well, then I guess you better do it. So anyway, that's my advice.
That's excellent advice. For me, same thing. And this goes for housework or yard work, because I pretty much do all the yard work in our family because I kind of like it. That's one thing that's not, to me, that's like it's physically demanding, but it's something I enjoy doing. It's very satisfying when you've gotten done mowing your lawns. It just looks tight. So just remember something about housework. You don't have to do it all at once. I have like I call them night chores. And I do my night chores before I go. And there are certain chores that I do every night. Like I always clean the cat box every night. So it's like, but the chores at night are dishes, cat box, coffee, pack lunch, and just make sure that it's not a shit show when you go to bed. That's all. Ask yourself what Cynthia and Michael would do, because they kept a pretty tidy house. And you know what they did? They made Ann and I work. That's what they did.
I was going to say,
we had these two kids so that they could do some dishes and dust.
Jenny and I did not grow up with a dishwasher. And my dad, when people asked why he didn't have a dishwasher, he's like, I got two.
That's right. Yeah, we had certain tasks. So when you got home from school, you had to make sure that the meat was thawing, and my job was to start the fire in the wood stove. And then after dinner, you cleared the table and you rinsed and did the dishes and washed and dried. And that was pretty much those were a part of our night chores. Mom cooked the dinner. Dad did whatever Dad did. What did Dad do?
He did yard work.
That's right.
He was the chopped wood.
He was the yard guy, that sort of thing. And if you have a spouse and kids, man, just make them do some fucking work. It's like, I don't, it's very interesting. I talk to my students all the time. They're like, I don't do chores. I'm like, how do you get away with that?
I know. Like, damn. Wow.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, small bites. I don't do, I try to avoid doing cleaning on the weekends because I really like to do nothing on the weekends. I like to fuck off on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And so I try to do like Toilet Tuesday, garbage is on Monday, sweep I try to make sure when you do the cat box, you sweep the floors. Not every night, but just try to get with, like yesterday I was like working in the kitchen and I noticed that my microwave, the top of it was disgusting. So when I notice something that is genuinely gross, then I'm like, I got to take care of this right now. So I cleaned the inside of the microwave, and then I cleaned the top and all the dust out of all the crevices, which is just gross. And you don't think about it. So yeah, just keep it small, keep it tight, move on.
And I like your hire somebody. If you don't want to do it yourself,
honestly, whatever. Someday when I have extra money, I'm gonna fucking hire. And the thing is, I cleaned a lot of houses when I was in college. That's kind of what I did for extra money. I did yard work for professors, and I cleaned houses for professors. And honestly, it was like, someday I'm gonna hire some college kid to clean my house.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. I go back and forth, and then I was like, oh man, because I could. I mean, technically, I could hire somebody. I was like,
But you feel guilty because you're like, I'm still able-bodied and perfectly able to clean my home.
Right.
So I get that. I totally get that. Same with my yard. I'm like, I hired some help last year because we have a big ass yard. And I hired some help last year to do that. And I don't regret that because it's 3 hours for me to mow my lawn if I'm doing it by myself. Because that's mowing, that's trimming, sweeping, all that sort of stuff. So
excellent.
Yeah. Coach, number 2, and tip number 2 for you.
Work life. So I'm one of those people that has never had like a dream job. I couldn't even tell you what my dream job would be. Probably not having a job would be my dream job. So I'm like, I done a bunch of stuff. I taught for a while. I'm a massage therapist. I made a living as, acting. I, done a bunch of stuff. One thing I did learn very early on was there's always a shit job that somebody will pay you to do. And if you just want a whole line of shit jobs, you can do that for your entire life if that's what you really want. So life meaning and employment are not the same thing. Most of us will never have a dream job or even know what our dream job is. Your life work is whatever gives your life meaning, and that could be many different things. So the next time you have to make small talk at a party talk about what you love and not your job. I know a lot of people are like, that's the first thing they talk about is their job. I'm like, who wants to hear about massage therapy? Nobody. You know what? I think it's interesting. That doesn't mean anybody else does. You know what I really want to talk about? My garden and my chickens and all the little stupid projects I have and what I did with my sister. And sometimes I even want to talk about Duncan. So I'm just like, so, we're getting to the time in our life, or a point in our life, where some of us have been in jobs for decades, and some of us haven't. And it's, that's a nice thing about those millennial kids nowadays is we probably won't have jobs that they do for 30 years, and that's amazeballs. Because I can't imagine doing anything for 30 years. Woof, woof. But at the same time, in America, you are your job. That's what makes you, a professional. Or productive, or a productive member of society is what you do, and we have quite the hierarchy of jobs. And man, I am tired of that. Especially if your job is like, if your job is boring, don't talk about it.
I totally get that. So for my work life thing, and I'm basically teachers, I'm talking to you because I've been, this is my 24th year in the classroom. So this is pretty much as far as work goes. I've had many jobs, but this is the one that I know better than any. And so this is for you teachers. When you go to work, you should use Dalton's 3 rules. And specifically, I'm talking about Dalton, who is played by Patrick Swayze in the movie Roadhouse, which is it is my number 1 guilty pleasure movie. Make no mistake about it. I've seen that movie 20 times if I've seen it once. I freaking love that movie. But anyway, here's Dalton's 3 rules that he introduces early in the movie. Number 1, never underestimate your opponent. Expect the unexpected. Middle school teachers, I'm actually talking to you. Okay.
Exactly. Put your pants on. Take that out of your ear. Stop touching that.
Stop touching that. Put that down. Take that out of your nose. Yeah. Number 2, take it outside. Never start anything inside the classroom unless it's absolutely necessary. Okay. And sometimes it is. And number 3, be nice until it's time to not be nice. And I'm talking about to either kids, administrators, or parents.
Shit.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I have to say about that. Literally. And you can apply Dalton's rules to pretty much any portion of your life. Mm-hmm. And I've been using these 3 rules in my life forever. Saw this movie for the first time in the spring of 1990. I just finished my final exams, and we had movie night, and so I was just like, ever since. That's right. I've been watching this movie for 32 years. That's
Jenny, Roadhouse could be if you're getting your master's in life coaching, which you can get a master's in life coaching, this should be a class.
I think it should.
I think Roadhouse should be a class.
Yeah. So anyway, and this is like when you're talking about what we should talk about instead of our jobs, I could talk about this movie all the time.
I could talk about Twister. You want to talk about Twister? That sort of thing. Bill Paxton.
Yeah. Oh, God, speaking of that, Joe sent me a link to a trailer for a movie called Storm Cell, and it looks no Supercell. Sorry, and it looks. It's a storm chasing movie, and Anne, I gotta tell you, it looks so bad. I cannot wait to see it. Just the trailer wanted to make me barf. It was that bad. I'm like, this is horrible. I can't wait to see it. And Alec Baldwin is in it. I'm like, oh, honey, no.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. All right. Coaching tip number 3, Ann Brothers. Love life.
Love life. What can I say? You know, I've been married for 25 years, so I guess I know some things. And then I find out I don't know anything. So love life. Remember that you are a grown up. And just remember that, you know, when it comes to, you know, you're not one of those fumbling 15-year-olds or however you were when you were fumbling around, you know, be into what you're into, you know, that's cool. And once you get to a certain age, you know, you like certain things, be into that. Be amused. Remember, this is supposed to be fun, and ask for what you need, you know, like move to the left 1 inch, you know, up over there, you know. Don't do that anymore. That doesn't feel good. You know, whatever.
In your picture, is that a unicorn fucking a rhinoceros?
It is a horse screwing a rhinoceros and making a unicorn.
Okay. Hey, why not?
Because you got to be into what you're into, man.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, well, there you go. I'm like, now I know how unicorns are made.
Now you know.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. For this one, for Love Life, I said, and this is the Love Life advice I give to my students all the time. And they look at me like I have 3 heads when I say this, but it's don't date until you're over 30, at least 30 years old. And I say that all the time because honestly, when you're young, you're so impressionable when you're young, and we're so dumb. Even if you love somebody, we're so dumb. But anyway, don't date until you're at least 30. Or you know who you are on your own outside of your family and all the other bullshit that comes from being raised by something other than wolves. And I chose Sheila from Glow, who identifies as a wolf in the show, but I'm like, I will say this about Sheila. Sheila knew herself, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Know who you are.
Yeah, so, and I think that's really a tough one for anybody, is that, are you comfortable in your own company? Because I think once you are comfortable in your own company and know yourself, then you can provide stability, and in a relationship, you can ask for what you need in a relationship because you're not always worried about this or that. And I think when you're looking for a partner, you need to, regardless of where you find them, because the dating scene is very different now than it was even when Joe and I got together. I met Joe online, but this was back in the early aughts when it was still like, you did what? You went on Match.com? What? Where now it's just like you're swiping left and right, up and down, and diagonally, and in circles. So whatever, but regardless of where you find your mate, know yourself first. I mean, you don't have to jump from relationship to relationship to relationship. That's exhausting.
It is.
So, anyway, that's it for me for love. Well, again, not like I've had my dating experience was this big before. I got. Oh my God, is that you have? I can't think of the name of it. What is the name of that?
Prancercise.
Prancercise. Good. Yes.
Yes. So these are my tips for self-care. Invest in good shoes and good bras, especially when you get like being a massage therapist, I see all kinds of people who did not invest in either. And, especially in good shoes. And I was like, ugh. So invest in good shoes and good bras. It's lots of support. Remember, support is good.
Yes.
Eat some vegetables and do exercise you like. You don't have to find the diet plan. You don't have to you can if you want. If you want to fast or keto or whatever you want to do, great. But if you're like, I don't know what to do with any of this, I'm like, you know what? Eat some vegetables every day and do exercise that you like prancercising. Look at this woman with her prancing. Look how happy she is.
Yeah, if you want something fun to do right now, right this second, if you're watching, go to YouTube and look up Prancercise.
Yeah.
Prancercise. And you're just going to be like, this is a woman this is a woman that knows herself. That's all I know. And it's totally comfortable with what's happening. Well said on the shoes, for sure. When I was doing my field study for my geology undergrad, Steve LaDuca was he was the head of our field study. He basically said, spend good money on boots and a tent, and he was not kidding. I spent good money on both and have no regrets about that in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, good shoes.
Good
for
shoes,
sure.
especially if you're watching the show and you're like under 50, because I have people all the time that are like in their 30s, late 20s, 30s, and 40s, and they're like, how come it hurts all the time? When is it going to stop hurting all the time? And I was like, it's not. It's only going to get worse from what my clients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s tell me. It's only going to get worse. So you might as well have some good shoes and a good bra.
Along the way, exactly.
Oh, I wasn't done, Jenny Brothers.
Sorry, I didn't know.
No, that's okay. Stretch every morning. That's another thing. I've gotten Duncan to stretch every morning. You're gonna find that things hurt. Like, oh, my shoulders hurt, my neck hurts, my hips hurt, my knees hurt. Get on, YouTube. Type in stretching for whatever body part that hurts. Find a couple that you like. Start doing them every morning. It will help.
I stretch in the shower.
Huh?
I stretch in the shower.
That's great because it's nice, warm, wet heat, which is nice. Another self-care, you don't have to be polite. I'm not saying you have to be rude, but you don't have to be polite either. So just remember that. Sometimes, especially women, we get ourselves in knots trying to like make everybody happy. You don't have to do that. But sometimes it's bad for yourself to try to make everybody else feel better.
Be nice until it's time to not be nice.
Not be nice, exactly. Really think hard before you pull into the White Castle drive-through. And that might not be White Castle. It might be Burger King or McDonald's or whatever place sells milkshakes. Because, your constitution after 50 is different from your constitution before 50. And though, like, in the past, maybe it gave you a little stomach ache, a little acid indigestion. But after 50, it starts to, like, hurt everywhere. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. The last time I had White Castle, I was still living in Minnesota, and I was not right after that for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Inside or out.
Yeah. And you're just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And then
you want to save somebody's life, even though White Castle, by the way, is still delicious.
It is still delicious. I'm just saying, really think hard. I'm like, what do you have to do over the next 2 days? Are you going to have to be on? Is it important that you be at the right place at the right time? Because if it is, maybe White Castle isn't the best choice.
Which breaks my heart.
I know.
Which breaks my heart a little bit. So
also, it's okay to get angry. It's okay to be mad and or scared. It's sometimes we're like, oh, I feel these things. How do I work through them? I'm like, just sit with them for a while. Who said you have to work through anything immediately? Sometimes you get mad at people. It's okay to be angry for a while, or it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be those things, and it's okay to sit with those things for a while. And honestly, if you're not mad, angry, scared, or anxious right now, I think there's something wrong with you. I think those are perfectly normal reactions to what's going on in the world. So it's okay. There's nothing, it's not your problem. How you fix it? I don't know. Can you? I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Stop being so hard on yourself.
When I first started teaching, there was some self-help guy that came to the Contemporary Learning Academy. Thanks again, Linda, because I thought Denny had a lot of nice things to say. Couldn't tell you, but he used to say, he said, you can have any thoughts that you want. You just can't act on those thoughts. I'm like, that's legit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I get mad all the time. It doesn't mean I'm like yelling at people, but it's okay to be mad. It's okay. It's okay.
I can want to hit somebody in the face and then not hit them in the face.
It's okay to acknowledge that I want to and then not do it.
I know. It's true. Mm-hmm. My self-care, and look, I posted a picture of different types of self-care. And for me, don't let somebody else tell you what self-care means. Exactly. You'll know what it means. And don't let people gaslight you into thinking that self-care is the answer to whatever's ailing you. And the reason I say that is because public education, well, just education in general, especially when it comes to teachers and our mental health, we're told all the time, oh, self-care this, wellness that. And I believe in those things. Don't get me wrong. But all of the self-care in the world isn't going to change the fact that teaching is tough right now and that we've got a bunch of neo-fascist dickbags that are making this job even more difficult. And so, but they're not willing to give me what I need as a teacher in order to be less anxious or less freaked out by my profession. It's, you just need self-care. So
exactly. You need to take a hot bath, Jenny Brothers.
You need to take a hot bath. And I'm like, that's great. I love a hot bath, but that's not going to change the fact that I've got a bunch of jags running around my classroom who will face no disciplinary action because of feelings. So
because they don't realize that being mad doesn't mean you get to hit somebody in the face. So.
correct. So, but at the same time, massage therapy and walks are amazing. So yeah. But yeah, so that's it for me, is that know what you like, learn what makes you feel a little better.
Yeah.
But know that that's not, and if if you're not great with self-care, don't punish yourself because I'm not good at self-care. But just know that it can make a difference, and sometimes self-care is an ice cream cone on the way home from work. So
it takes the edge off.
Exactly. Ice cream is delicious. Ice cream makes me feel better.
Spad Twisty Cone opened on Saturday, right after
I wonder if the one in Parchment's open, because I love that place. Oh, now I have to look that up. Hang on. Hold on. I have to know right now. Hang on. Spad's Twister, because there's one. Spad's Twister. Come on.
Yes, ours.
Oh my gosh, it's open. It's open. They close at 8 night. They're back open.
See? Self-care. Ice cream. Soft serve. I know.
I'm like a 5-year-old. Ice cream.
Yes. I was like, snow and ice cream. Yay!
It doesn't take much to be happy. And that's one of the things I love. Oh, and look at Joe. Joe's watching. Hey, Joe. Hey, baby. I'm going to go have Spads without you. I love you.
You're going to Spads for him, not without him.
I'm going to have Spads in your honor.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry. I got super distracted by the fact that Spads is open. I can go have ice cream now. For those of you in the Kalamazoo area, go to Spads and get some ice cream for crying out loud. Okay, sorry. Anyway, and coaching tip number 5.
It's miscellaneous things. Dress for yourself. I do that all the time. So I like fun stuff. I think your husband once described me as sassy. So half sophisticated, half sassy. So dress for yourself. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't wear that. I'm too old for that. Or I'm just not that type of person. You're whatever type of person you want to be. And if you're a hat and a scarf person, then wear the hat and the scarf. If you're a big chunky earring person, wear big chunky earrings. If you want to put on stuff you don't have to think about, then do that. So dress for yourself. We don't have to be sexy for anybody. We don't have to smile for anybody. You can just like what we like. And if you appreciate it, great. And if you don't, shut your mouth. Who cares? Yay. One of my clients, my next one is called a treasure box or fuck it bucket. One of my clients suggested this. She has a daughter she was trying to motivate to do some things, and she was needing like something kind of quickly. So she put all these like little treasures and treats in a box for her. So when her daughter's behavior was good, she could pick from the box. And I was like, I want a treasure box. I want my own treasure box. So I made one for my sister, and I got a bunch of cheap, stupid stuff that I know she likes. I wrapped it up, and then whenever she needs to, she can pull a present from her treasure box and open it, and that's her treat for the day. And then Jenny made me a fuck it bucket.
I used the name. I liked it. I used it.
Yeah. So this is mine. And so whenever I have a day where I feel like, all I have to do is work today, and I have to do my strength training exercise, and it's cold and dark, and treat from my bucket. So that's just something that I can little because we never do that. It was like,
I know. And for the record, the other day I pulled something out of my treat box, and it was a bag of poofy Cheetos, and I ate them all, and it was amazing.
Exactly. It's like sometimes you just need, I don't know. Sometimes I'm jealous of small children because the stuff they have nowadays is so much cooler than the stuff we had when we were their age. One time I was at a Costco, and it was during like February, or no, it was at Christmas time, and they had a bunch of like boxes of candy, you know, the fancy box candy. So I bought myself one because nobody else was buying me one. And I was paying for it. And the lady who was ringing me up, she's like, oh, I bought one of these for my 4-year-old niece and a sticker book. And I was like, if I was 4 and somebody had bought me a sticker book and my own box of chocolates, I would have been apoplectic with joy. It would have been like the best thing ever. I'm like, it's the best thing now. A box of candy and a sticker book. That's what I love now. And so that's when my client was telling me about this treasure box. I'm like, yeah, I want all those stupid little things that make me happy. And sometimes I won't buy them for myself. But if I put them in a bucket or somebody does that for me, you can do your own. I just did one for my sister in the hope that she would do one for me.
I did. And it was super fun putting it together because I was like, what would Ann Brothers like? I'm like, would she like that? I'm like, I think she would like that. And
like that little
and sometimes it was something I would like.
Exactly.
Yep.
So anyway, that was, treat yourself. You know what? Treat yourself. And it doesn't have to be the most expensive thing. It doesn't have to be, it just like, what do you like? Wrap it up for yourself. Surprise yourself. Oh yeah, I forgot about myself. This is fun. My next miscellaneous coaching tip is do fun stuff with people you like because they make you stay up past your bedtime. I have my friend Amy Terry. She's always like, hey, let's do this. I'm like, oh, it looks like it's after dark. She's like, yeah, it'll be awesome. So otherwise, it's like, yeah, so do fun. It's kind of like the treasure box. It's a treasure box of people and experiences.
Like last night, I stayed out late and I went to the Mattawan High School production of Mamma Mia. And actually, for a high school production, it was good. I'm like, it was actually really entertaining and fun. And frankly, what's great about that is it's all of ABBA songs, which I love. So it's not hard to like. So for sure.
So do fun stuff. And then finally, 2 margaritas is too many for me. But if I follow my sister's instructions to have them without ice and drink them fast, I'm fine. But I might have gotten those instructions wrong because she said them to me after I was on my 3rd margarita. So I might be misquoting myself.
That was that when we were in Ohio last year? That might have been Ohio last year.
Yes, I got drunk in a Mexican restaurant on margaritas in Ohio. I am basic. Thank you.
In Ohio. Well said. For my miscellaneous, so my coaching tip number 5, my miscellaneous tips are to remember that, and I wrote it right here, that little things make big things. So whatever you're going to do, if you're totally stuck in something and you want to change it, you can't do it all at once. It really does take a series of little things that when it comes to the outcomes of our lives, it's little things first because little things make big things. And it's just that sort of repetition in making that change. And, and sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it takes a week and sometimes it takes 10 years. Who knows? So that's my miscellaneous advice. And the other one is 1 old fashioned is not enough and 3 is too many. So
there you go.
But as far as the little things make big things, I talked to I've been living by that sort of mantra. And I have probably applied that to my job more than anything because that's what I wanted to get better at. And I feel like over the years I've done that, but it took years. It wasn't something that happened in a year or two. It's been, 20 years in the making. So,
Yeah. I mean,
and so, yeah. And sometimes it's easy to forget. Sometimes things get so overwhelming that you want to eat the whole elephant instead of eating it just one bite at a time.
Yeah, no, that's when we first bought this house. Actually, I bought the yard and this house came with it because I wanted to dig out my tiny farm. I mean, when I first looked at that acre of grass, I was like, oof, what did I do? I was like, only an acre. When we bought it, I was like, I wanted to get 10 acres. And then once you have an acre, you're like, oh, it's a lot of yard.
It's a lot of yard.
And, it's taken we've been here, this will be our 8th summer. And I was like, when I think about the things that I wanted to do and the things that I've been able to get done, it's taken me 8 years, if anybody, Jenny, you've seen it. You were there at the beginning.
Yep.
So, and the thing is about your tiny farm is that it's never quite finished. So.
No. And
And now I have people I don't know that come when I'm outside, drive into my driveway and ask me questions about my garden. So, I mean, that's because it's impressive. It's
It is
cool.
impressive.
But it was, when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, there's all this stuff I want to do. And I'm like, nope, I can't do it. It's a turtle.
Well, that's the easiest thing to do is the turtle. Yeah. And I had a kid just the other day. I can't remember what we were dealing with, but he was avoiding some work in my class. And I was like, dude, just come in here for 20 minutes of seminar and just get it done. So quit running away from it. It's a bad habit. He's like, fine. So, and it's that one little thing, that maybe it'll make a difference for him down the road. I don't know, or not.
Or not.
Yeah.
Who knows with kids these days?
Kids these days, I swear. So I don't know. I feel like we've life coached everybody up.
Exactly. I'm like, if this doesn't help you, you can't be helped. Which is, I know, right?
Yeah,
very self-help thing. Well, I have this program that's worked for me, and if it can't work for you, then there's something wrong with
because I know everything. So if you don't listen to me, you're not going to be successful. But then again, I can't even define success for anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Turtle.
Sometimes she's got a turtle.
Oh, now, Ann, this is something, speaking of fun presents, look at and wearing what I like. Look what my husband got me when he was on one of his trips to Goodwill. It's a Quick Trip sweatshirt. And you guys, actually, I'm going to throw that out as one of my pieces of advice and my miscellaneous advice. Number one, the Sapp Brothers in Ogallala, Nebraska, greatest bathroom in America. And number two, if you happen to be in Minnesota or Wisconsin, treat yourself to a stop to Quick Trip for some gas and some goodies, because it's the greatest gas station in the history of gas stations.
One of my miscellaneous things when it comes to traveling is always have a paper map. I know this tells you stuff and most people just use it, but always carry a paper map. Always.
Yeah, because you never know when that technology is going to drive you off a cliff in Colorado. So.
Exactly, because there's places you go to that aren't on your phone. So always have a paper map.
Even though Google's getting good, they're getting better.
They totally are, but always.
But it's not over yet. So there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so there, we feel like we've managed to, and if there's, for the two people that are watching the show today, if you have some advice that you would like to jump in with, by all means, you guys feel free to, in our comments, offer other pieces of worldly advice. And that's just it. The thing about, life coaching is that life is a lot of it. You just kind of figure it out as you go. You're like, oh, that's what escrow means, or oh, that's what mortgage interest is. Oh, that's what that shit. So
that's what my 401k is. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that would be more interesting. Hi, Jeannie. What's up, girl? What's up, girl? Hey, girl. So thanks for being so wise. Yes. That is what I've been called on many occasions.
Me too.
So.
I don't think. I have had a couple of people that I've worked with like, oh, you should be a life coach. I'm like, I should be, and I'm telling you all this great stuff, and you're still not doing it. So what's the point?
Excellent point. Very good. So, Ann Brothers, we will be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And this time for sure, we are reviewing Cocaine Bear. Ann got to see it last night. I'm going to go see it this week. And I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And in one word, describe Cocaine Bear. Go.
Bloody.
Well, there you go.
Like, woo, woo. I was like, thought I had to wipe it off myself sometimes.
Well, and that's good because if you're watching and you're interested in seeing this movie and you're not sure if this movie is for you, if that word scares you, don't go. If that word does not scare you, go. Okay, yes. We'll be back with a more detailed review in 2 weeks. The other one that we're going to review coming up is Plane with Gerard Butler, because you and I both have a thing for that man. Just have a thing for him.
We love our second-rate Russell Crowe. I can't get enough of him.
I know, man. It's just like It's like Goodwill Russell Crowe. Yes.
Yes, exactly. And I think he's not as puffy because I saw the movie playing and I was like, oh, somebody is not drinking as much. Good for you.
Well, okay, and let's be honest though, Russell Crowe is way puffier than Gerard Butler
right now, yeah.
Much puffier. So yeah. So, and no judgment on that. I'm just making observation. Russell Crowe puffy, Gerard Butler less puffy.
Less puffy. A lot less puffy in this movie. So.
Indeed. So cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you guys, happy Sunday. Hopefully everybody has a good week. First full week of March. We survived February. Great job, everybody. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks for our review of Cocaine Bear.
Team Bear.
Team Bear. Yes. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Wait, I have to put our brand up. Wait. Now I can make us go away because our brand is in the background. Are you ready? We're disappearing. In 3, 2, 1, peace.